One of the most challenging places in the PvE spectrum is the Hydra boss. Anytime we can show you a champion and showcase a champion, no less than epic, that can give you the damage and numbers you need in order to progress from normal to hard to brutal and even nightmare, we want to do that today. I want to show you such a tandem, the likes of which I had never seen before, and was absolutely shocked on my first attempt to one key brutal, and I think with a little bit more gear, a little heftier gear, probably could one key nightmare as well. So let's take a look at the latest comp that I've put together, kind of just thinking in my head. And full disclosure, afterwards I realized Scratch does have a video of the same champion, not the duo, but the same champion, almost in the same comp as I do, but it was only hard. So to let you know, to kind of expand upon what Scratch has already done a few months ago, thank you Scratch, we're going to take Akemtum and Thylessia into the Hydra boss to one key brutal clan boss. Let's get into it. All right, here is the brutal clan boss team. You have Duchess, you have Krisk, you have Akemtum, you have Thylessia, and we're rounding out some damage with Royal Guard and Geomancer. The greatest thing about this is I don't even need Geomancer in here. Geomancer does really good damage, especially when the Head of Wrath comes in. But honestly, his best trait until then really comes from his ability to strip buffs. You could easily bring in Ugo instead of Thylessia, but I wanted to make sure those hexes were up all the time no matter what. Now, at the beginning, it's not a big deal, but as you swap in heads and we get heads killed, it just gives me two champions to lay down those hexes. And more importantly, that gives Akemtum a really heads up because the new heads up, to expand those or to extend those debuffs so they're up all the time. And I think that's a real key to being able to do good damage on this, is all hex all the time in this particular comp. We could use other hex champions, but I think you'll see the secret ingredient of Akemtum really makes this happen and really makes this work. So because we have hex up all the time, this is something you could use Whisper. Now keep in mind, because Whisper sometimes has more buffs than everyone else, depending on where she is on her turn cycle, you're going to want her up with resistance. And after that, she can actually do phenomenal damage. It's just a matter of her survivability. Brutal may not be the best, but maybe you're in hard, and then, you don't need to use your Geo in hard. You could swap in a Whisper and probably do twice the damage that Geo's going to do in a hard or normal level in this comp. And of course, we have Duchess and Krisk. Replacements for that, for Duchess, you would put in a Shamael in this particular case. The reason why I use Duchess is it just makes it easier to have a revive champion, because as we get on in turns, we have nukers and they are gonna die, and I could have made them tankier for less damage, or I could just have a reviver. That's what I have. And then we have Krisk. Krisk is just the big daddy. He brings ally protect. He can actually put a decrease attack and decrease defense, which, by the way, Thylessia can also debuff spread. So can Akemtum. They both have debuff spreads. So you can see things happening all the time just to get these buffs going. At times, so many buffs. Okay, let's get moving forward here with this team on Brutal. And first thing you're going to see here is Krisk is faster and he's taunting. The reason why I taunt first instead of making him slower than Duchess and extending the buffs plus the ally protect is because that first turn I need him taunted, because we don't have everything up. We don't have a traditional taunter. There's no taunter here. So you put up the veil. We're gonna put up the hex, which is good. We're gonna get a decreased defense. We happen to land all, which is good. We're gonna put up the HP burn. Everything's set to go. Then let's do some hammers. Now I do want that decreased speed. Didn't get it, which is unfortunate, and that allowed Akemtum to be the unfortunate recipient of a debuff steal. But is it a big deal? Absolutely not. Now we're doing the extend. And then we're just going to make sure we're going to get AoE damage. That's a big deal. But there's what I mean. He can actually steal that buff back. He's like, no, I don't think so, head of mischief. So you'll see here the secret weapon, I believe, happens right away here. He's just... The secret weapon apparently is the Relentless gear that I have. Don't worry, I will show you all the champions' gear in a minute. Okay, so you didn't see that. We did get a cleanse. So you're thinking, well, yeah, of course you got a cleanse. You don't have a taunter, but a provoker. But let me tell you what. That is about to change, my friends. There's our taunter right there. Now, what's exciting about that? Oh, wow, you have Akemtum in a provoke set. How novel of you. The key here is that he's not going to get necessarily the damage. He's just putting that up. But the other key, and it's going to happen soon here, we're going to have one turn taunt just to get her going again because we got cleansed. The cleanse only happens, I believe, twice in the entire fight. And again, you'll see why soon here. Man, that poor dude is just taking heat. the poor Royal Guard. So, we've got the taunt up. Now the taunt's down. I don't know why I stole... Oh, yeah, I stole those back because, again, he stole buffs. Like a little thief. Now, I didn't land the buff. I didn't land the buff there. The taunt buff. Which was unfortunate. But you see now, because of all the debuff spread that he's got, now 3 of those champions have it. And there's the taunt. Because Akemtum's Hex passive acts like a distinct turn every hit. So anytime one of the other heads takes poison damage, it's going to reflect the whole thing, including sets, onto the Hydra head. And that means that the Hydra head is going to get 18% chance to provoke every time. Now, we do have a safety valve. We have Krisk. But every time we don't have Krisk, we still have other means by which, look at that, I have so many debuffs on him, I wasn't able to get that, unfortunately. And then you've got this, look at it, just the hexes, you got 6, 6, 6, 4, right? But we have Thylessia, so when this new head comes up, if he's not in order, she is. And there's an opportunity for either one of them to reapply those hexes. Because all the damage, you see all the... Oh, look at all these little hits with all the ignored defense, and look at the 2,000, 3,000. That champion's not even getting hit, and look at all the extra damage that's going down. Now, at this point, we're going to speed forward. I know you don't want to listen to me forever. We want to get to the gear, but we're going to just speed up. We're going to see the Head of Wrath. Just kind of as you're watching, go look at that Head of Decay. You never see that taunt fall. Eventually, you've got so many poisons that we were able to kill him without ever seeing him cleanse again. That first cleanse was just bad luck because there was actually 2 opportunities. If I would have landed the speed debuff on him, that would have given me 4 opportunities to re-taunt him. But unfortunately, we didn't get that yet. So be it, c'est la vie. But here we are at turn 38. We're already at 16 million on Brutal with this team. Very, very nice. Easy to do. The other thing is you've always got Hex up. Oh no, the Head of Mischief ate someone. So what? Everyone can damage him now. You don't have to make sure that your Geomancer has his HP burn up and that it happens to land on him and that he hasn't stolen. You can just attack him. You can debuff spread onto him. You can do all this stuff. And you can see here, it doesn't matter. Oh, look, you stole my gear? Well, I'm just going to cleanse. I'm just going to steal it back. Because of those hexes and how long they're up and all the damage, we'll keep scrolling through. Scrolling, we can do both. Scrolling through here, and again, you just see this 20 at turn 50. We're at 22 million, right? My normal Brutal comp at turn 50, I'm at 10 million, 11 million. I usually take 150 turns to get my full kill here. That's within reason. Maybe I end up at about 40 million on 150 turns, but definitely this one here, easy done, easy go. You can just see he's killing them. It doesn't matter. Now, the poison, I got really lucky here, I will say, because I had 2 heads down when the poison head came up, and by the time it put its poison cloud, there was only 2 up, and they both had the HP burn. Really strong Relentless on Geo is why that works here. But just keep going here. Now, this is where we get unlucky. you're going to see here, this was the beginning of the end, as it usually is. When Akemtum becomes the target of the eating. I believe that's... Oh, he gets killed. So, no, okay. So, the real beginning of the end is with Geo. Because I needed Geo to strip, and he wasn't able to. You're going to see him get eaten right... So, he gets eaten here, and that's really the problem, is then I get a... I believe I get a stolen buff here. And then before I can take that, I don't have Geo to take that off. He cleanses to everyone. That's the beginning of the end. But I'm already at 35 million. Turn 85. I've already beat the key. The key's only 30 million. So we've already done it. It's already we won. But see, there's where the... And that's what kind of screwed me over. Also, AoEs are bad when he steals your Krisk's Ally Protect, because then your Krisk is taking the damage. But at this point, I'm in a lot of trouble here. We've got the cleanse, which we didn't want. We got the steal, and we have, of course, the Head of Wrath ready to hit, and he had an attack up, and so all that together really killed me. And unfortunately, with that unfortunate kind of series right then and there, I think we could have done, like before that. I wasn't really worried about my 2 champions were dying. Everyone else was fine. But I just had some really bad luck there, and there's your total damage right there. Let me move out of the way. I'll move up here. I'll float up top. 36.4 million. But what I want to show you, what I want to highlight is your 3 nukers. The number 1 damage dealer was Akemtum, 9.75 million, 9.3 Geo, 8.9 Royal Guard. Royal Guard often beats Geo. I think he was dying a little bit more than normal. Thylessia, 5.2 million for Thylessia. Right? When you're talking about supplementary damage, 5.2 million, my Krisk at 2.2, Duchess at 300,000. But you see how this team, Akemtum, with those hexes, put the most damage of everyone out here. And even at brutal level, to have 4 epics, and I would argue I could do this with all epic. I could bring in Shemael, probably take out Geomancer for someone a little more stalwarty, and then that has an extra buff to be the debuff target, and replace Duchess. That would be tough, but probably maybe I bring in Uko for some heals instead of Duchess, and then a reviver. I don't know who's a really good reviver. Probably Goddess Aniri. Right, I could probably do that if somehow I could make sure that the resistance numbers are good, or build the whole team with enough resistance so it doesn't matter. And we could easily do this brutal with all epic. It's an amazing champion. He is, in my opinion, the best epic champion in the game for Hydra. And I know you're going to say, but Geomancer. And maybe on Nightmare, you might have the argument because because it's a percentage damage piece, Geo's going to far outpace Akemtum and be more survivable on Nightmare. And Ugo for support is definitely a big deal. But I could notice how I didn't have Ugo, and I didn't need Ugo here because we had Thylessia. We could have brought in like a Mordecai for an AoE HP burn if we were worried about the Head of Poison, the Head of Blight, and honestly, I was really shocked. I didn't think Akemtum was going to do that level of damage, but there he is in all his glory. So now the last thing to do is to show you all the gear on this team. So let's pop out. Oh, I disappear. That's what you want to disappear. Let's take a look at the team, and I'll show you. Again, by the way, I did it manual. The reason why I do it manual is because of Geomancer. He's really bad at targeting with his HP burn. If you didn't use Geomancer, if you wanted to use a Husk in there and maybe take Akemtum out of the taunt set, I just wanted to show that Provoke because that's the unique part of his kit. But if you wanted him in Provoke and Husk in Provoke and Husk for damage instead of Geo, you could absolutely put this on auto and just click the Head of Decay to make sure that everyone's focusing on hitting him when he's up, and then you could easily auto it. I do that with Mishinaki on my Nightmare key, and all I do is just target. I don't use Geomancer on my Nightmare team. So anyway, let's take a look at the team. First of all, the Duchess is actually my Arena Duchess, so don't tell anyone in Live Arena what this looks like. It is a bolster set with speed, looking at 286 speed at oh no, sorry, this isn't even the right. I'm showing you the wrong one. You didn't see that. Don't tell anyone. I switched because of that. So the brutal one is this one here, which is just a high resist Duchess. It's a backup Duchess for arena for 3v3 and stuff. But 80k health, 3000 defense, 683 resistance at 243 speed. And then the big boy Duchess, or sorry, the big boy Krisk, with his big 2-star blessing. He's in the bolster, and he's sitting at 60,000 HP, which is actually really low. 3,000 defense, 357 accuracy, 464 resistance. Crit capped, not a lot of crit damage though, just because of that ally protect. At 250 speed. So just doing his thing, having fun, having a good time. Now let's talk about the epics. The epics that I think really make this comp what it is. The first one is, I didn't even use my number 1 Royal Guard, by the way. I didn't even use him. I passed on him. I went to this Royal Guard here. This Royal Guard in Relentless with Defiant gear. Sitting at 40,006 HP, 206 speed, 241 crit damage, 250 accuracy. I actually prefer a higher accuracy. Normally this guy doesn't see brutal. Normally this is my hard Royal Guard, so I have him lower accuracy, but he should be at 350 accuracy, so he has a better chance of landing those decreased speeds. Krisk usually cleans up on that if I need it, but very good, strong team here. And there's my Royal Guard. And then next we have the Geomancer, also on Relentless. 56,992 health, 2,700 defense, 221 speed, 454 accuracy, and just keep alive and keep burning. And then, of course, we have the Akemtum. The Akemtum in the Provoke set that I got to give back to my Husk at some point here. 48,000 HP, 3,299 attack. He's a nuker, but I actually reduced his attack by a considerable amount, and I didn't even have him crit cap because I just didn't have the Provoke gear to make it happen. So he's at 99%, 205 at 397 accuracy, and man, just land his debuffs and watch him fly is all I can say about him. And then we had, what are we missing? Oh yeah, Thylessia. Thylessia, not blessed, but blessed in my heart, sitting with speed and life gear, immortal gear, and perception gear. Her total stats, 42,864, 2,766, 3,800 attack. We still wanted some damage. 227 crit damage, 307 accuracy. You don't need the masteries in all of them. They're all in some sort of, mastery for, either Giant Slayer or War Master. That's all of them are Giant Slayer or War Master. It probably shouldn't be a shock. Although maybe not my Krisk. Mr. Kriskman, send me a dream, show me where. Okay, yeah, he's a. I did put him for Eagle Eye to get the better accuracy, and then probably the Duchess is in for the resistance. For the resistance, because she doesn't need accuracy. So there's the team. No setup. All manual in this particular case. If you remove Geomancer and bring in Husk, it'd probably even be a better, easy auto key. Just target the Head of Decay whenever the Head of Decay is existing. What are your thoughts? How do you use Akemtum? I'm actually going to put him into stun gear and probably use him. It's such a great ability to have. It's crazy. It's like a cheat code for Doom Tower. It's a cheat code for just about everywhere. What are your thoughts? The whole comp, the whole team. I hope you can use a team like this. I hope you can have fun with it. Sorry for those of you that were looking for the Thylessia. I built them. That'll be tomorrow. I pushed it by 1 day so I can get this out, and then we're gonna trick Thylessia out a little more damage and see what you can do if she's just meant to nuke, and then we'll take her in some other places. But you did see her here first, doing yeoman's work. 5.2 million damage. Hydra brutal, not too bad for her in I would say a shortened run. I think that team could have run to 150. But there you go. That's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.